Hey guys, it's Callus with the Pokemon Perfect 2021 ADV Championship semifinals, the first of two, and it is the 6 seed Jhonx against the 5 seed PkNab. You guys have seen both of them on the channel not only before this, but specifically before this in this tournament. As you know, they've beaten two different opponents to get to this point, and they just need to beat two more opponents, this being one of them, in order to win the championship. It's a best of three, as are all matches in this tour. Let's get right into it with game one. Jhonx is on the bottom, PkNab is on the top, and they both have a Salamence. Intimidate coming down for both. But that does not deter Nab. He's going to stay in and Rock Slide anyway. Unfortunately, he's going to miss, but really, how much would that have done to a Snorlax? I can't imagine too much. Body Slam Para happens, but so does Synchronize, so now both Umbreon and the Lax have been paralyzed. And Intimidate comes down, which doesn't matter on Umbreon unless it's going to BP. It gets a Charm off, which is going to once again deter the Mence, and now we've got a lot of switching. That BP takes the Intimidate along with it, and now we have a Coon. This time it's Jhonx deciding to Rock Slide even though he's intimidated, and that's going to connect with the Coon. Critical hit 49%. A lot of switching in the early stages of this game. Salamence comes in on Magneton, which is going to favor Jhonx. He's going to go for Brick Break. Maybe he thought Umbreon would come in. He connects with a Donphan instead, so an interesting team for Nab. Umbreon, Magneton, Donphan we've got here. This immediately reminds me of the Osgood team that was popularized by Triangles, that has the Moltres, the Celebi, the Magneton, the Umbreon, the Donphan, and the Lax as the only win condition. This doesn't appear to be quite that. You've got at least a Mence and a Coon, so you're not just stuck on one win condition, but I think it's a similar concept and similar structure here. That being said, an Earthquake killed Metagross, and the early lead belongs to PkNab, or Leech, or Bolt, or Fire, or whatever. So, PK is going to go for Hidden Power here. It's going to bounce off Lax. Of note, neither player was Sand, and I mean, it could be, but I really doubt that PkNab's last poke is a T-Tar. It just doesn't make sense to me when you've got this as the rest of your structure, and when you have a CB Mence that doesn't want Sand to be there, and when you have a Coon who's that much bulkier when Sand isn't there. I don't think it's going to be, well, now we know it's not, but I don't think it's going to be T-Tar for him. And then on the other side, I mean, it could be. It could just be like a DD Tower in the back for Jhonx, but I'm not sure that's going to be the case either. So I think we're about to play a sandless game, which Blissey, Coon, Lax, Celebi, all those bulky things really appreciate. They become that much bulkier. We will see how it all plays out. We have a Mag on Mag, but one of them was behind a substitute. Thunderbolt comes back, catches the 10% para, which is a great break for Jhonx, and now he's going to fish for full para. He goes for sub and doesn't get it. Very well may try it again. Nab, in the meantime, is gaining lefties. This time he does get the full power that he's looking for. Good break for Jhonx. Gets a Thunderbolt off. Hidden Power pops the sub, but Nab is going to die here to the follow-up Thunderbolt. And indeed, that's exactly what occurs. So we've got ourselves a 5-5 game. Blissey comes in, eats a Toxic, and kills the Magneton with an Ice Beam, giving Nab the lead again. So we're now looking at a 5-4 with a final poke unrevealed for Jhonx. And Lax is going to be very consistently able to come into Blissey when there's no Sand. You have nothing to worry about. Well, scratch that. He's going to go for self-destruct, so no more Lax, and he's going to take the Umbreon down with him. Not sure if that was the intended target or not, but that was the target that he got. So, leaves us in a 4-3 situation. Mence with Hidden Power, big damage on Celebi. Hidden Power again, even after Intimidate, pretty good damage on the opposing Mence. And now here's Hidden Power from Jhonx's Mence. That's going to connect with Donphan for 37%. Back to his own Mence, doesn't take Hidden Power well, he's not bulky at all, but he does have a big threat here with whatever he wants to use. Ends up being Rock Slide, which will be good enough if it hits again. And it does, so down goes Celebi. It's going to be last poke Arrow having to play Hero for Jhonx, and it's that substitute set that's going to try to go down to a Lychee Berry. Starts out with Rock Slide, gets a flinch. That's what you want, but he's going to need some more of that. There's Rock Slide again. And it's Surf, not Roar from Nab of note, so maybe he doesn't have Roar. Rock Slide again at 18% and a flinch. One more crit or flinch, and we're in business here. goes for it, does not get it though, and even though the Coon is very low, it does manage to get the Surf off, and down goes Arrow. It is only the Mence remaining for Jhonx, and he kills the Coon, but that will not save him from the opposing Mence pending a Rock Slide miss, which does not occur, and Game 1 to PkNab. A sandless Game 1 of note for PkNab. That's going to put him, of course, since it is a best of 3, 1 game away from victory. And Jhonx, of course, would have to win Game 2 and a theoretical Game 3 in order to survive. So let's just go ahead and get to Game 2 and see which of those outcomes occurs. Here's that second game. So, PkNab still on the top, Jhonx on the bottom, different leads, Mence and Tar this time. Neither one comfortable, and they both go to the same poke, a Suicune, who we saw from Nab in the last game as well. And Jhonx also bringing a pretty similar team, it looks like. Lax was also with him last time, as that switches into Coon. Early game, Lax tends to have the advantage against Coon. In the long run, not so sure. But early on, usually the Lax is a pretty good check to the Coon. Wheezing from Nab, interesting. He brought a stally team last time. Not hardcore stall, but definitely on the defensive side. And this looks to me like he may have done the same thing here. But Camerupt comes into Will-O-Wisp. Man, Camerupt, even though it has a lot of flaws, and not that Wheezing is really a big threat in the metagame either, something you really need to build your team around, but, man, never really thought about it because it's such an obscure matchup. Camerupt actually seems like quite the counter to Wheezing. What could you possibly worry about? Will-O-Wisp, Fire Blast, Thunder, Sludge Bomb, I guess, which is like a really uncommon set, and even then it doesn't really matter unless you poison them. So we've got Camerupt, the Wheezing counter, as weird and obscure as that is. So, everybody's still alive at this time. Underwhelming Brick Break there. That must have been a prediction for Nab. I guess he thought the Coon would either switch or sleep because of the Toxic, but that obviously isn't what happened. He taunts here to prevent a rest, so didn't like the Brick Break, do like the taunt. Coon now suffering for Jhonx. Meta comes in at this point, and great play from Nab as the balls to stay in and click Flamethrower there. A lot of people would not do that, and he is greatly rewarded. 2 Flamethrowers later, opposing Meta down. Really nice, aggressive play from Nab. Calculated risk there. You can see why this guy is this far in our championship, making those kind of plays. And now you can see why Jhonx is this far in our championship, with a Dragon Claw critical hit right when he needs it, killing Moltres without it getting a chance to do anything. And this game has been equalized at 5-5 with unrevealeds for both players, 2 of them for Nab. That's going to be a trade. Self-destruct in the weakened Tar. Sure. Here comes Wheezing. Here comes Mence, respectively. That's got to not like Will-O-Wisp. But, of course, there is still the mighty Wheezing counter of the Camerupt in the back. PkNab takes this opportunity to double, but it's a weird double. Why Jirachi into what you think is going to be a Camerupt? That doesn't make a lot of sense. And, well, Jhonx getting the luck when he needs to. That's going to be a second KO via critical hit for him. And that's going to give him the lead. Nab's looked pretty good throughout this game, and he's got another stall team, a weird stall team here, because this one is very defensive. No, I mean, again, not complete dead in the water, do nothing defensive, as some stall teams tend to be, but very, very defensive and no spikes either. So if this team were to win for Nab, and I'm not saying it's a bad team or that it wouldn't win or whatever, but if this team were to win for Nab, it would be a grind, it looks like. Double Will-O-Wisp. At least 1, if not 2 Wishers. Coon. Oh, man. That is a stall team and a half for Nab. And he may still get there. The Coon seems like a real threat. If he doesn't let it get blown up on. Yeah. Don't like that. Don't like that. I mean, I get why it's hard to switch in Rachi or Wheezing there, because neither one really likes the Camerupt. But if you don't, you get exactly what we see here. You get the Coon getting blown up on, and now I think Nab is pretty boned. I think the second that explosion happened, this game got a lot tougher. I think Jhonx, yeah. I mean, the arrow here could be wrong with his 50-50, but he also could just be the subset again. The double edge there is going to certainly put Wheezing in danger, so it's going to be Rachi and only Rachi here to win the game for Nab. We've seen Rachi win many games in recent ADV tours, so I mean, stranger things have effing happened, and he is a wish set also, so it could definitely happen for him here. Calm Mind and Rest, sure, but the Rachi last move is probably Thunderbolt or Thunder, which, yeah, that's exactly what he needs here. There's the Thunder kill on the Coon, which, if he connects with the next one, that Coon's dead. He goes Calm Mind again. Okay, fair enough. I mean, same situation. Thunder, again, would definitely kill here if he were to connect, which he doesn't, and that's going to happen sometimes, 70-30. But all the Coon does is rest against. That doesn't seem like a big deal. He would have to miss a whole lot of Thunders to realistically be pressure stalled out here. But he does miss another one. So he's down to, I believe, 10 PP on Thunder. This may devolve into a Calm Mind War. I don't know that I love the Thunder there. I think I would have kept Calm Minding. Nevertheless, he should have him here. He goes for Thunder and misses. Okay, well that makes it a damage roll. And he doesn't get it. Okay, let's back that one up a little bit. Jhonx wins and we're going to a game 3, by the way. But let's just back that one up a little bit. I don't love the way PkNab played that late game. So he says in the comments here, because Jhonx says the same thing that a lot of you might be thinking, why not go for Ice Punch? It was the kill. And Nab said that he calced it and it was only a 50% kill because he had no investment. Okay, that's fine. But if you know that, why wouldn't you continue to Calm Mind up alongside the Coon, not make it so you have to hit a Thunder, and just Calm Mind up until the Aerodactyl always dies to the Ice Punch? I don't see a lot of downside in Calm Minding up alongside the Coon. The only thing that you're worried about is if Jhonx decides to go aggro and he gets the crit, which obviously can happen, but like with the threat of Thunder, I think you keep him on the defensive a lot. I also think that Jhonx doesn't necessarily know that his Aerodactyl would survive the Ice Punch, nor does he know that, I mean, does he really want to gamble that Thunder just doesn't hit? Because keep in mind, if that first Thunder had hit, this is all irrelevant and Nab wins anyway. Now, there was some luck at the end of the game. Nab didn't hit the Thunder, and it was clear that he could survive 2 Earthquakes there, because the first one did 52%, leaving him at 54%, so obviously there are rolls in which he survives, but he also didn't survive the follow-up BQ. So don't get me wrong, Jhonx got lucky there, PkNab got unlucky. There was definitely an element of luck and RNG there, without a doubt. However, I still think that PkNab had a better line. I don't think he really had too much to worry about with the Coon, and I definitely don't like leaving himself in a position where he knows the Ice Punch isn't going to kill, and he's okay with that, because you're begging for Thunder Punch misses at that point. I really prefer setting up a position where all you have to do is click Ice Punch and you win. That puts Aerodactyl in a position where he must get an immediate 1-turn window crit in order to kill you. And even then, if you're at full health, you could still survive depending on the roll. I prefer setting it up to give Aerodactyl 1 shot and 1 shot only, and you just hit it with Ice Punch. I don't like playing the game where you can just miss 2 Thunders and lose. And I just don't think you were in that much danger from the Coon. The Coon was not attacking the Rachi at all. Jhonx was playing scared. Jhonx was playing in a way where he was obviously afraid of the Rachi, and he was just resting instead of trying to attack or fish for the crit. So I don't like the way... Oops, I got a cat on the keyboard messing with my dimensions here. Buddy, how can I narrate Game 3 like this? Well, he definitely messed up my dimensions here. But we can still see the screen, so it is imperfect, and we're going to roll with it. I think I'm just going to go ahead and get into Game 3 before he wreaks any more havoc here. Sorry for the little white up at the top. We cut off a little bit of the bottom, and we got a little bit of the top that's imperfect. Cat is out to get me. Why are you narrating instead of petting me? Completely unacceptable. as far as he's concerned. Let's get to game 3. All right, Jhonx on the bottom again and Nab on the top again. It is Mence and Titar. This looks very familiar, but the switches this time are different. Jhonx is the same. He goes to Kun just like he did before, but it's going to be Zapdos on the top for Nab. Thunderbolt coming down for Lax. This team looks remarkably similar for Jhonx. Might even be the same team. Thunderbolt comes down with a para. It's a bit lucky. And Body Slam also gets a para. That is a little less lucky. And now Swampert comes in for Nab. He seems to have favored stall teams throughout this. End up with Kun on Pert. And now Venusaur. So, yeah, these guys clearly have their own preferences, and they're not the same preferences either. Nab clearly leans to these more stally defensive teams. And a lot of the time they don't have spikes, it seems. So very defensive, very stally, non-spikes teams, which is interesting. Kind of a unique style. And then Jhonx, it looks like, is just bringing the exact same team. But even in Game 1, where it wasn't the exact same team, it looked remarkably similar to this. So Jhonx doesn't look like he's changing it up too much either. We see a Pursuit here on a leech-seeded Mence, kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But he does respect the Brick Break. And had Nab had the balls to stay in there and Pursuit again, I believe the Mence would be dead here. No, we're moving the dimensions. Well, maybe we could fix them. God, I'm going to give you guys a seizure by watching this. Can we stay put, buddy? Can we watch Jhonx and Nab in peace? No. Well, there's a Fire Blast burn on Bliss. As we all know, has a natural cure. Earthquake puts her really low. I mean, soft-boiled, but still in danger. Don't really like trying to race the camera up to here. I mean, there's a crit, but like, even if you soft-boiled again there, it's not even that good. Earthquake plus burn largely negates what you're doing, especially with sand in play. So like, I don't really know that I like that line of play. And wow, God, then he goes to T-Tower to get that killed by a faster camera up. Apparently, PK Nab's team is very vulnerable to camera up of all things. And now he sleep powders into an already paralyzed Pokemon. This is absolutely coming apart at the seams for Nab. This one looks much more one-sided for Jhonx. And it looks like Nab in the comments is already saying his GG's. I don't know if he's tilted from the previous game or if this is just a bad matchup or what, but this one seems by far the least close of the three. This one's all Jhonx. 20 turns in, Nab is down to only 2 Pokemon. There's 2 air quotes unrevealeds for Jhonx, but I think we both know what they are because this is almost certainly the exact same team. Ice Beam fishing for desperation freezes here. And a Surf. Ice Beam again, trying to get there. Oh, he does get there. Glimmer of hope for Nab. I still don't know how Swampert wins, but got to start somewhere. Maybe he can establish 3 layers of spikes and somehow, some way get there with Pert. Maybe he gets more freezes since there's no freeze claws and all that. Spikes and Surf, respectively. Another big Surf about to come down. And he's going to roar him out, of course. It's going to prompt out the Salamence. I mean, never say never, I guess, but it looks real dire for Nab here. He's down to Pert and only Pert against the Mence, the Kun, 2 other pokes. Dragon Claw, well, it's not HP Grass, I guess, is the good news. Here comes Aerodactyl. Man, Nab, I mean, he said GG a couple times, but I guess he's not ready to actually concede. Double Edge, Hydro Pump, sure. Nab making a run at it, but this should be the end. Kun should do the trick here. Protect. He's not ready to concede. Any moment now. Protect again. Wins the coin flip. He ain't done. He's trying to survive that Surf and get another Ice Beam freeze. Stranger things have happened. Doesn't get the 3rd Protect in a row, and the Surf kills. It is going to be a Jhonx 2-1 victory, and I don't think I'm going to say too much in this late game, in fear of my cat messing up the video even further. Don't know if this video is going to make YouTube. I'm going to have to watch it and see just what level of messed up it is. But hope you guys enjoyed it despite the chaos, and I apologize for my kitty. 2-1 Jhonx, and he will be in the Pokemon Perfect Championship Finals against the winner of the yet-to-be-played Siglet and Kurtz. When that occurs, you'll see it on the channel, and I kind of feel weird asking you guys for a like on this particular video, but humor me. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video.